Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back to the vlog, everyone. We have got a bit of a special panel today. As you all know, you're probably all in self-isolation. We're in self-isolation, although we do get to go to the Gurdwara and see Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj every day, thankfully. But today we have a guest panel, and we will be discussing the coronavirus, of course, what's happening in India, and also how to keep our spirits up during this time.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
I'll start. I think COVID, the whole kind of talk about COVID began a few weeks back. And to be honest, at that time, I was already ill, quite ill. You could say it was like a period of self-isolation in a way, but like I was like quarantined within our own room, and I lost a lot of liquids and stuff. And it was a mission trying to keep hydrated. It was just a few weeks ago, and it kind of took it out of me quite a lot in terms in a physical way. However, I think spiritually, my mind was set, it was okay, and that's what kind of really kept me going in a way. But what it did make me feel when I heard about the corona, the virus spreading all over, and how people are kind of self-isolating or being asked to, or people even going through it themselves. They might have got the virus, and they might be in hospitals or in their own homes or so forth getting treatment. It did kind of make me think that how they must be feeling, especially those individuals who maybe don't have a spiritual thing to fall back on. And with that thought probably came a lot of appreciation and gratitude that being or trying to follow a Sikh faith or the path of Sikhi, we've always got Guru Sahib Ji supporting us and helping us. That was a kind of appreciative thought that I had. But then, as I recovered, kind of the thoughts developed more as to my own relationship with Guruji in the midst of pain and suffering, and fairly kind of summarizing thoughts really when looking around and thinking about the current climate, especially as a Sikh. There's a lot of Sikhs saying on one side that we should shut down the Gurdwara, and on the other side you have a lot of Sikh Gursikhs saying that making room for prayers and kirtan in their own homes. And it's one of the visions of Guru Sahib Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, that in every home there should be a place of religious learning, praises of God to be sung everywhere, which is an amazing thing. At the same time, I've been kind of reflecting on the fact that can we really close our Gurdwara? Is that the right terminology? Gurdwara can never really be closed, because the Sangat or the congregation is where we obtain understanding, where we're cured of our illnesses as well. I'm going to relate back to something that I experienced. I won't normally share this, but very long time ago when I was coming to Sikhi, I was spending a lot of time at Guru Tegh Bahadur Gurdwara in Leicester, and at that time there weren't many Najwan coming into Sikhi, but it's nearly 20 odd years ago now, and I had the flu, really bad flu. I was basically incapacitated at home, and it became a routine that I had to kind of go in the evening to listen to Katha and the Kirtan at the Gurdwara Sahib. And although my parents and everyone, family was saying at the time, okay, stay at home because you're not well at all, and my body was aching, I hardly had any energy, I decided to get up and try to stick to the Maryada, the discipline of attending Gurdwara, just because I felt that I needed to, it was a duty to in a way. So when I went, I remember sitting through the Kirtan, the Reras first, the evening prayer, about 5:30 onwards, and the Kirtan for about an hour or so. And during the Kirtan, I clearly remember the very first shabd that was sung was Mera Vaid Guru Govinda, which means that my doctor, my physician is the Guru himself, the God himself. So I felt reassured in the Sangat that Maharaj is doing, blessing me, and has kind of affirmed my decision. And then all I remember, the bliss of listening to the Kirtan and the bliss of listening to the Katha, which kind of helped me overcome the illness. And before I knew it, by the time the whole divan was finished, my symptoms had disappeared completely. And I remember how drastic the situation was for me in terms of coming to the Gurdwara, how weak I was feeling. So I guess that feeling of feeling well straight after just an evening's kind of congregation and attendance in it gave me an affirmation and made my faith grow stronger, that my Guru is perhaps the one who will always help me in these kind of situations. So I guess the whole thing for me at the moment, in terms of how the diaspora is kind of dealing with the coronavirus, and got to really kind of clarify and say that no one is wrong in this situation either. No one is wrong because everyone's got their own personal relationship with the Guru. But for me, it was about, it kind of summed up really nicely, and something about what I've been thinking about personally, about the love and fear relationship. Is love versus fear. And somewhere down the line, if it's like extreme love, that can have a problem. It leads to some sort of an attachment. And where there's extreme fear, then a person can't feel so kind of broken off in their function that they can't, they're not motivated to do what they need to do. So yeah, I guess it's about the middle ground and keeping it in the middle ground. It's almost like that kind of standard deviation bell curve. It's like, on one side is a slope, another side is a slope, but right in the middle is the optimum performance as such. And that optimum performance is a kind of a feeling of what we call sahaj, where neither are you affected by what is happening, and neither are you kind of too detached from it either. You are focused particularly on prayer, and prayer wherever you are, whether it's in the Gurdwara or whether it's at home. That is the kind of carrying vessel as such. So in any instance, whether it's a disease or whether it's happiness, Gursikh kind of tries to live with that kind of equanimity, where they kind of see everything as a neutral area.
I think the first thing that really hit out to me was when they said shut the Gurdwaras, and I thought, it felt like a jolt in me, like, oh my God, how can somebody even think like that? Okay, tell the Sangat not to come in. And I think one of the reasons that I felt that kind of shock was because when I was 19 and I was coming into Sikhi, the Gurdwara was my mainstay. Like, I had no Sikhi as such, Gur Sikhi as such at home. I was the only Amritari or on that path to becoming an Amritari. And every day for me, it was like getting up in the morning, even if it meant walking nearly an hour to the Gurdwara by myself at Amrit Vela or whatever it was, or in the evenings as well. For me, that was such a important part. It was like I couldn't breathe if I didn't get to see Maharaj. It was like that kind of love. And that has been the start of an amazing journey, that even through our marriage, even through, the children's births, all your milestones in your life, taking Amrit, the Guru's there all the time through, whether it's just your normal daily life, or whether it's just a very special time in your life, or even death, when it's time for us to leave this world. I have got that much faith that I know Guru Sahib will be there, and the Gurbani will be guiding the Sangat or ourselves and my soul throughout the whole journey. So for me personally, I feel like I want to reach out to people, especially those people who don't have that support at home if they're self-isolating with their families. Those people, for me personally, those people who are self-isolating and they don't have that Sangat at home, but they would really like to, put some comments in the comments box or get in touch. I'd be happy, we'd all be happy if anyone wants a conversation, a bit of Sangat, or you're watching some other online live streams or anything, and you want to feedback what you're learning, because sometimes it's so amazing watching live streams of divans and stuff, but sometimes you want to check your learning, like, did I get this right? Did they say that this happened in the history, or is the Hukamnama, does it mean this? Because this is what I understand, and you want to ask a Gursikh that might be more experienced or might have more access to the Gursikhi vocabulary. So whatever it is, get in touch, feel free. Everyone's at home in the world, practically. There's no excuses of I don't have the time, but don't feel like you're alone. Obviously, Guru Sahib is there, Mata Sahib Koji, Guru Gobind Singh Ji is there for each and every one of us. But having an actual Gursikh in your life, don't ever feel like you don't have that. Get in touch if anyone needs to.
So the beauty of being in self-isolation is that we see ourselves normally so busy in the rush of life, so especially in the UK, that the minute we get up, we're always rushing to get to work or get the kids ready if you've got kids, or come back from work, cook, put the kids to sleep. So we're always constantly on the move. So now being in isolation, I feel like that we're owning the time. So like today, me and Baji were doing Vijay today, just about how there's no one around no more, and it's quite quiet as well, even at the Gurdwara, because parents are fearing because of the corona, so they're self-isolating as well at home. But it's not a negative thing. If you take it as in a positive way, we can say that we've got more time to actually think about Simran, we've got more time to remember Guruji, think about the Sakya, we've got more time to just appreciate the beauty around us, what Maharaj has created as well. So things are just like something simple as the trees, the flowers, the birds, the random dogs that cross the street. So just simple things like that. So we were just admiring the beauty by just sitting there for a second, even for a couple of minutes, just admiring just the clear skies, the sun's coming out, the trees, the slight bit of wind.
I wanted to say that to all those people who are doing an amazing job on the front line, trying to help sufferers or families of those individuals who maybe contracted the virus. They're doing an amazing job, all the health workers, doctors, nurses, and all the medical professions, and any of the support workers, auxiliary workers. From us, stay safe, stay well, and you're doing an amazing job.
So guys, just so you know that here at Gurdwara Sebewala side, where we're based, there's going to be an Akhand, which means a continuous prayer for the well-being of the world, of a prayer called Sidi Chope Sad the Part. Is the prayer known for protection, is very short, and with God's grace we're all taking part in that. Even the kids are going to be doing roles or slots of that prayer, which is, I suppose, we're not on the front line like you guys. You guys are doing an amazing job, and even if you're self-isolating, in a way you're still on the front line, because you're making sure that those other workers, the nurses, the doctors can do their job. So all we can do from this side of the globe at the moment is pray for everyone as well, and we hope you all take care. Number is, we're just a phone call away if anyone needs us, so take care everyone. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji